Welcome into another video. Samurai War 17 here, bringing you episode 16 question mark. I can't remember. I can't keep up. But in the last episode we were able to make our way through Saturn, and now we are working on the Uranus junction, which we can now complete. I can't remember. Shoot, in the last episode I mentioned I was going to do something and I forgot. Oh, clanky. Awesome. Let's start with that actually real quick here. So first and foremost, if you are new to the channel, if you're a new viewer, I would really appreciate if you would like and subscribe, comment on the video down below, any suggestions, any recommendations, all that good stuff. Let me see. Cool. Okay. So now that we're at the clan, so got my clan key, was able to join the clan. A couple things you could do here. So this clan's very well built out. You can see they have a lot of rooms. They had 100% research, which was the main reason why I wanted to come into here. So let me just go ahead and fast travel to, we'll go down each lab and I'll kind of explain what's going on here. So this is the energy lab. So you're going to see a bunch of blueprints here for weapons. Sometimes there will be companions as well, but some of these weapons are really good. Now whenever you click on them, you do have to replicate the blueprint. When you replicate it, it costs credits, which is fine. The Helios, I am going to replicate this one. I do need some field drawn to do so, cool. I can explain that for you. So we'll go ahead and pick up the Helios here. I think weapon-wise we're okay. We don't really need to come in here and grab any weapons from at least this lab. So that was the energy lab. Let's go over to the chem lab so you can kind of see what's going on here. Same thing, weapons. It's just this is more Kuva weapons. Or not Kuva, sorry. Grineer weapons. Now, the Ignis, especially the Ignis Wraith. These are really good weapons to get early on if you are struggling through missions, if you need help. But, so you see the Ignis here. You see the Mastery Rank 5 over on the, to the right of where it says Research Complete. You only have to be Mastery Rank 5 for this one. Now, whoops, I did not mean to do that. But the Ignis Wraith, however, you have to be Mastery Rank 9. Now, I would recommend the Wraith over the Ignis just because the Wraith has a little bit better stats overall. I think it's, so yeah, this is primary heat. It's 33, let's see, 35. So it's a little bit better on the heat part. Status chance is 2% better there. So crit is 2%, 2.5. So you can see the difference in, I don't know why I wasn't just doing this. So you can see the difference. Crit chance 11%, crit damage 2%, or 2 times. Here it's 17% crit chance. It's 2.5 times on crit damage. The Wraith is better. Usually whenever it's, you see how this is the Ignis. This is the Ignis Wraith. The Ignis Wraith was a specific one that you had to collect as a clan. And if you were able to do so, then you could replicate it. Now, the Nucor is another weapon I want to mention here. I am going to grab this one specifically because this is one of the, if not the best secondaries in this game. It's a very good primer weapon. It shoots a beam out. If you mod it to radiation, sorry, it already is radiation damage. You could bump up the radiation damage. What radiation damage does is when you hit enemies, they also can damage other enemies. That's what radiation does. It is a really good primer as well. So when you're inflicting status chances with multiple weapons against enemies, it's just really good. The Ogress is a good weapon as well. It's kind of like a grenade launcher. It's a little bit difficult to get used to, but it is a good weapon as well. But I'm just going to stick with the Nucor for now. I don't want to, spin the whole clip here. So now we go over to the more infested style. Now, these catalysts, you will need these at some point. You can grab them now if you want to, or you don't have to. Mutagen mass as well. It is something that can be researched. However, you do need mutagen samples as well as control modules. So doing the invasions is a easier way to accomplish that. I haven't. The Torrid's really good, especially if you get the Incarnate version, which we'll come across that here at some point. The Bubico is pretty good as well. I want to say the Catabolus is pretty decent as well. It's a secondary weapon that's also a good primer, as well as the Embolist. And then also the No, not this one, not this one, not this one. Okay, so I'm not gonna grab anything from this one for now, but on the next one, so I'm gonna skip the Tenno Lab temporarily here. I'll explain why. Now the Orkin Lab. This is where you grab your dragon keys. So I had mentioned the dragon keys before. These are the keys that you can grab. And when you grab these keys, you're able to go to Deimos and get the corrupted mods. This is why we wanted to join a clan for these specifically. Now I might not be grinding them today just because, you know, it's not necessary, but you can see here, so speed is greatly reduced on the hobbled key, so you move really slow. Extinguish, so your damage is greatly reduced. This makes it harder to damage enemies, of course. Then you also have shields are greatly reduced, and then I think health is the last one. So you can go in and only equip one of these if you want to. It's easier to run it in fours if you have a couple other people that you could run these with, and say, like, you know, for example, I'm like, hey, I'll bring all the hobbled dragon keys. Cool. The next person can bring all the extinguished, so on and so forth, decaying, bleeding. That way y'all all don't have to have all four of them equipped. Now later on, once you're pretty powerful, you could probably just go ahead and do it and you'll be fine. The vault, don't worry about the vault. Dry docks, we're not going to worry about that yet because we can't do anything there. Vink kids, not necessary. Dagoth. Okay, so this is another frame that came out, and she's pretty decent. I haven't messed around too much with her, but this is a way to get another Warframe in Dagoth. Now, I think if I remember correctly, yeah, you could just make her, which is pretty cool. She was one of the unique ones that you could do that with. Now the Tenno Lab. The reason I came here last is because, well, weapon-wise, not super necessary. There's not any like super standout, like, oh my gosh, this weapon's so OP, I have to use it. I mainly wanted to come in here because of the Warframes. So you have Banshee, you have Nisha. This is where you get Volt if you don't start with Volt. Wukong, and then you have Zephyr. Now I am going to grab all the Wukong parts. I don't think I will be able to craft him just yet. I think I'll probably be missing some resources. But the reason I want to grab Wukong is he's really good at speedrunning a few things. You know, if you go to Maru's Bazaar and you want to do the treasure hunts, you could do it with Wukong pretty easily. He has an ability, so his second ability is Cloud Walker, where he basically turns into a cloud. Really good. Very, very high mobility. Celestial Twin is a really unique ability. He's one of the only ones that can spawn a version of himself that helps you fight along. It's really good for new players if you're having trouble with missions. You can basically have a buddy if you want to play this game solo. Wukong is great for that reason. He can spawn his own. He also has Defy, which is the third ability here, if I could get back on it. Sorry about that. So you go into a stage of invulnerability. Now, when you go into the stage of invulnerability, you don't take damage, and every damage that is being done to you, you will reflect it back to them. So you go into this little bubble, and then you have a staff that'll come out, and it'll do a little circle motion and damage all enemies around based on the damage that they've done to you. And then Primal Fury, his final and ultimate ability, is a exalted weapon. He pulls out a staff, does really high attack damage, really fast attack damage with it. It is something that you can mod as well. So I know I want to say I briefly mentioned it before, but you can mod the exalted weapons. So, you know, same thing with you know, since this is a melee, you can put melee damage on there, melee reach, melee you know, a status chance, all that stuff. But the last thing, and the reason why I always recommend this one to beginners once you get to this point, is passive. Once you take fatal damage, you automatically use one of your mastered survival techniques. What that means, so you can do this up to 3 times. If you have your celestial twin out, instead of you dying, your celestial twin will go away. And that is the first technique that he uses. The second technique is basically the cloud. Essentially, like, it goes through the ability, so it's like Celestial Twin, Clown Walker, Defy. Basically, you get 3 extra lives. So you have 4 lives. So when you're farming, when you're doing missions, when they're becoming a little bit more difficult, instead of you losing your affinity to go towards upgrading your weapons, your warframes, your companions, you can basically defy the odds and resurrect. You don't die. Really good. Zephyr is more, I would say, more of a like niche character. Very good at gliding, has tornadoes that he spawns or she spawns. A pretty decent character. Nija, kind of the same thing. So Nija and Wukong are both from like pathologies or whatever. It's so like this is the Chinese is it pathology? I think I'm using that term wrong. I don't think it's called pathogens or pantheons. That's the word I was looking for. From like, so this is the Chinese pantheon, and then you also have Nija, which is, I want to say Chinese as well. I could be wrong on that. If you want to look into that, it's a relatively cool story between the two of them. But Nija is very niche. It's basically just all about fire damage. You run around and you create like a fire trail that will damage enemies. You could do a circle. Is very good at doing mass damage to a bunch of enemies, but Banshee is another one that's really good as well. I specifically use Banshee to level up my Warframes and not my Warframes, sorry, my weapons, because what you can do with Banshee, there's another character in this game that we'll eventually meet called Sevagoth. You can take his ability, and when you take his ability, you can put it on Banshee and basically blind enemies as well as being silent, so you get an affinity bonus when you're stealthy. The more stealthy you are, you get affinity bonuses, which is pretty cool. So with that being said, we're just going to back out of here. So I just wanted to give you a little tour of what to expect when you come to a dojo. Hopefully that was helpful. If not, let me know, or if you need a better explanation or a more elaborate explanation, I could always do that as well. But I just wanted to kind of give you a quick little rundown. We're gonna see real quick. I don't think I can make Wukong, but just to double check here. Wukong, so we need 19 extract. Alright, I will show you how to get that. Archon crystals. This is the only resource in this game that expires within 24 hours. So when you need argon crystals, craft something, it's best to only need argon crystals. So for example, if I had the plastids to accomplish this build, then I would probably go farm the argon crystals, but since I don't, I'm not going to worry about it because 4,000 plastids is a decent amount. The nitane extract and the circuits, well, circuits we can farm usually just by playing the game. The nitane extract, however, so we need 6 total. Now, when you're doing these Nightwave Wish missions with Nora, you could come over here and look at credit offerings. So at the top right, you see I have 150 credits that I have not spent, and the reason I did not spend those yet is specifically for this reason. So down here, you can get Nitane Extract. Now, it's only 15 of the credits to get 5 of them. I'm going to go ahead and buy, we'll just say 5 just to make it a nice round number here. So that way I have, oh my gosh, 25 total Nitane Extract. That will come in handy to me later on. Realistically, I'd rather prefer to buy the Oricon Catalyst or the weapons just for the mastery, but right now we're not going to worry about those. You can also see, so like she'll have some of these. Let me see, there might be a better Deadeye, not great. Energy Siphon is a really good mod that you can grab. Enemy radar is okay. Rifle amp. This is really good if you're using rifles in your weapon and in your gameplay. It's really good, so you get extra damage to your rifles. You also have shotgun scavenger, which basically is just all about ammo. If you're running out of ammo with a shotgun, it's convenient to have. But you'll see in here, so like Excalibur, for example, there's an Excalibur mod I could grab in here. There's a Nyx mod. These are weapons. Sobek, Mutilus. Oh, that's the weapon. That's the weapon. Duh. All right. Anyways, so that's kind of the deal there. I did want to ask real quick before I get into this junction, or while I'm doing this junction, how everyone's enjoying the videos. You know, if it's entertaining, if it's, you know, if it still needs some work. I'm curious. I really would appreciate y'all's feedback if that's possible. You know, if you're more interested in just watching the quest and not all the side missions, or maybe just the junctions in the quest, whatever the case may be, I am all for it. I do want to know, just so that way I can, you know, like I said, I want to make this for y'all. So, go ahead and kill Equinox real quick here. Should be relatively easy. Go. Do that. And then... Alright. But I would really appreciate if I could get some of that feedback, just because, like I said, I want to really make sure I am making these for you. Ooh, the Duvari Paradox. This is a good quest to do. The Sun and Moon. That will come in handy. I actually don't know if you can do... Can you do the Duvari Paradox yet? Because I think there's a specific mission you have to do.
Hard, are we? Trying to stop progress? Grenier progress?
This is, so, Tal Rigor is the assassination mission on Uranus. Probably one of the most unique assassination missions, because there is a character called Equinox. Now, Equinox, I want to show this real quick because this will hopefully be beneficial to you. But with Equinox, so when you go to craft Equinox, it's kind of confusing because you're going to get Equinox Light and Equinox Dark pieces. You actually need both a light form and a dark form to actually craft Equinox. You can't just craft a light form and then go play Equinox. It doesn't work like that. So basically you're crafting 2 Warframes in order to... Oh, I have a rank up available too. You're crafting 2 Warframes in order to... Oh, wait, I remember. I'm so sorry. I'm like sidetracked by this because I'll show you why. It's the... Oh, Cephalon Suda I can't do, but I think this one... Could I do this one? Yeah, I could. Do that one. Get a quick little weapon here. We will just do... The barrels are relatively cheap. I might just do a relic pack just so you can see how this works. So, cool. 3 relics. Boom. Bing, bing, boom. Got that. Fully lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. What was I saying? I forgot. Equinox is one of those characters, though, that you have to craft 2 Warframes. I think... So, I know this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, because once we get into this Uranus mission, it's going to be... It's going to open up a lot of what's going on. The Duvari Paradox, I can do that one, but I honestly think I want to hold off, even though it is a main quest. So let me show you here. It is a main quest, but I don't want it spoils some things, so we definitely don't want to do that just yet. But I think I'm going to cut the video here. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video today. I just wanted to kind of go over the clan and a couple things for y'all. Hopefully that was helpful and beneficial. If not, let me know down in the comments below. I do appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all next time. Later.